What's up, YouTube? Once again, you're in the kitchen with Paul. You know, back when I was working at the county jail, I had a lot of Italian brothers that I would work with, and they would always joke around with each other, saying, "You're not a real Italian. You eat sauce from a jar," and I didn't even really realize what that meant, Not knowing any better, I thought ragu, prego, that was pretty good. But it wasn't real authentic sauce. So now what we're going to do today in the kitchen is we're going to make an authentic Italian gravy. Because they don't call it sauce, they call it gravy. Let's go in the kitchen with Paul. Okay, what are we going to need for our Italian gravy? The first thing we're going to need is we're going to need some tomato paste. We're going to need crushed tomatoes. Okay, you see that? This is not ragu. This is not prego. This is crushed tomatoes. The only thing in this can is tomatoes. They have been skinned, they have been seeded, and they have been crushed. But there's nothing in this can except for tomatoes. We're going to need some onions. We're going to need some garlic. Now that garlic is going to be minced. Of course, we're going to need some basil, some oregano, some thyme, and we're going to need some salt and pepper. Now, once the gravy has cooked down for a few hours, we're going to put some real fresh basil in it to finish it off. But as for now, this is the ingredients that we need. And of course, we need some olive oil to cook it all up. So we're getting our oil hot. We're going to put our onions in there. We want our onions to cook down until they're translucent. Once again, what does translucent mean? That means they look kind of clear. We're sweating all of the flavor out of the onion and into the oil. We're going to take some kosher salt. We're going to put it in there. That's going to help our onions to start to cook down. Okay, YouTube, what I've just done is I have just added the garlic, the minced garlic, in with the onions. And we're going to continue to stir this. And we have brought the fire down low, because we don't want our garlic to burn. If you burn your garlic, you got to throw the whole thing out. Burnt garlic does not go with anything. But what you're doing is you're infusing this oil with the flavor of the onions and the garlic. Now, unless you're making a marinara sauce, you have to make this sauce flavorful with meat. That's how they did it in a traditional Italian household. They would put pork, they will put braciole, which is a flank steak that's rolled up with some herbs and cheese inside of it. And they would put some sausage in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook up some sausage. Okay, YouTube, I'm back. Now, what I've done now is I have taken most of the onion and garlic out of the oil. I fished that out of the oil. So now that oil, that olive oil, has been infused with the flavor of the onion and the garlic. And now I've taken my chicken sausage and I'm going to brown my chicken sausage up in that oil. After I brown that chicken sausage up in that oil, I'm going to brown my ground beef in that oil. Then I'm going to set those to the side. I'm going to cut the chicken up into discs I'm going to then put my tomato paste, my crushed tomatoes in and start the low and slow cooking process of the tomato sauce. And once that's been established, I'm going to add that meat back into the sauce and infuse that sauce with the flavors of the meats. And that we're going to allow to cook down, and that is going to be our final meat sauce product, or our authentic gravy. All right, YouTube, as you can see, I've taken my chicken sausage out. I'm starting to cook down my ground beef. This is all part of a process. You saw my ground beef, little pepper. Okay, YouTube, as you can see, I have cooked up my ground beef and taken it out of the pan, drained all the oil off of it. Now what I'm doing is that chicken sausage, I'm cutting it up into bits. And I'm taking those bits of sausage and I'm incorporating it in with that ground beef. All right, YouTube, we finished cutting up our sausage. Our chicken sausage and our beef is all mixed together. There's one thing I want to show you. You see all that juice from the sausage that has drained out of it? We want to put that all right back in there. That's a bunch of goodness right there. And that's going to go right back in. Now we're about to get our sauce started. Okay, YouTube. We got our pan all set. We're going to take our tomato paste. We're going to put our tomato paste in the pan. There's our onion and garlic. It's going back into the pan now to mix in with that tomato paste. We're going to add our crushed tomatoes. And here we go. Crushed tomatoes right into the pan. One more can. Right into. Now what are we going to do with this sauce? You got to season it up. First thing we're going to do, we're going to put some salt in it. Kosher salt. Get some pepper. We're going to put the pepper in. Some more basil. Put the basil in. Some more oregano. Put this in. Now we can put the dried seasonings in now because this is going to cook down for quite a while. And while this is cooking down, it opens up the flavor in these seasonings. And a little bit more time. We stir all this in. Now we're going to add our meats. A little bit at a time. At this point, that tomato sauce is like napalm. And you don't want to have this stuff jump up and get on your skin and burn you up. So we take it a little bit at a time, incorporate it in, making sure we get it all in there. Now that we've got all our meats in there, We're gonna fold them all in. All right. Now it's all incorporated in there together. Now all we have to do, continue to keep this on a low heat, cover it up, and allow it to cook down. And after it's cooked down, we will be back. Okay, YouTube, our sauce has been cooking for about half an hour. Let's see what she looks like. All right. What we want to do right now is we got fresh basil. Somebody once told me basil and tomato sauce is like peanut butter and jelly. It just goes together. So we got our fresh basil. We're going to put that in there. As my Italian brother said, a basilica. Basilica and pomodoro. Learn these things from, the internet is a wonderful thing. Okay, YouTube, this is our final product. Our spaghetti with our meat sauce. We're going to put a little real Parmesan cheese on there. There we go. We're going to grab a fork and we're going to taste this and see what it tastes like. All right, here we go. I'm going to get some of this sauce. Oh, look at that. I mean, it is piping hot. Get a little bit of this meat. That chicken sausage is fantastic. You have that ground beef in there. Spaghetti is nice, but that sauce, believe me, incredible. I've been eating sauce from a jar my entire life. I'm not Italian, but now I see what all the fuss is about. When you cook this sauce from scratch and you cook it low and slow with the basil and the oregano and the thyme, and you put those flavors in, the garlic and the onion, and then you top it off with that Parmigiano Reggiano, and you put it over some spaghetti or some rigatoni or whatever you want. I'm even talking like I'm Italian right now. Forget about it. This is some good stuff. If you enjoy this recipe, then I want you to continue to be in the kitchen with Paul. How do you do that? Hit that subscribe button. When you try this recipe out, if you like it, give me a thumbs up, okay? And after you give me a thumbs up, write me a comment. Write me what you want me to make next in the kitchen with Paul, okay? And also, don't forget to hit that little bell. That bell will let you know each and every time I put a new recipe up. Simple, it's sweet, it's not short because it takes a long time to do this, to do it the right way. We don't just pour it out of a jar. We make this from scratch. Mwah! Incredible. I'm in the kitchen with Paul. You're in the kitchen with Paul. First and foremost, always keep God first in your life. Love your family, and of course, love yourself. I'm Paul. Peace, y'all.